G2 will be starting on the T side, NBK with the Deagle again in the pistol round. And even in the pistol round, he's pretty consistent with delivering at least one kill. He isn't raid boss, he's just Deagle, no Kevlar, playing the long range while his team move in close.
Forest with a spot there. But it's not really conclusive in any sense, although he will go into an even more passive position. He looks like Forrest has called a couple teammates there as well. We get a rotation and it's just going to be one man, which will be Rez over by the B plateau. There he is. There he is. All alone on the B side of the map. Will he go for a push? Right now, NiP are G2 are sort of sweating them out a little bit here. They're just they know that they have a disadvantage, but they also know that they just have to sit in it and hope to hit some good shots. And there it is. Shox tries to take the 1v1 against Rez. He'll lose, and then the rest of his team, the action will start to wait.
So interesting that he commits to that duel with a Glock rather than a P250. Rez and Exist remain 2-on-2 now. That bomb needs to get planted, and it will be. Exist tries to use that timing to get down. He will be engaged in a duel by Apex, and Apex won't win, and that leaves NBK quite out of position. And there he goes. It's really curious to play from Shox there, where he's willing to duel the player, but he's got to shoot him in the head twice from that range. So why not, if you're going to make that play, why not pick up a P250 instead?
It was a good recovery considering they had gotten the opening kill, and then, just as you said, we're sweating them out. It can be really nerve-wracking in the 4vX, thinking, okay, we got to rotate back and forth slightly. They're not giving us any information. Are they going to push on an A? And they finally push on an A, but the retake's out. NiP win. They get 3 SMGs. They're not anticipating a force-up, so this is actually G2 spending quite a bit of money here. I'm not even sure if they spent all of it though. That's kind of interesting. They're kind of half buying on a round that they got a plant.
That's so strange.
Yeah, that might be. So I mean, they're increasing their odds of getting another plant, which would mean they could be buying next round. But if they don't, then they're going to save, I think.
I don't think this is the first time we've seen this from them in recent games.
If this works mathematically, I think this is awesome, ideal.
Well then, let's see if it will. Just a flashbang onto Shox. Weapons will give some warning to the opponent. No helmet, so no helmet makes it a very curious investment because they'll get absolutely annihilated by the guns, which are designed to abuse people with no helmets.
Yeah, almost every gun on the CT side, or every single gun on the CT side, is going to be worth having a helmet against. So then, if you're going to expect any SMGs, maybe it makes more sense to do that. And they don't get a plant, so it could have been a situation where they bought, but maybe they felt like we didn't want to buy until we had an op anyway. So they thought, why don't we try to get a double plant here, and at the very least try to do a lot of damage. And they didn't accomplish either. But
yeah, it's curious. I don't think that Kevlar no helmet approach is going to have much mileage, because the CTs have got the best weapons for the job. They've got moving accuracy, fast fire rate, and one shot versus no helmet. So experiment, I don't think will go very far. Neither will the bomb in this occasion. In this run, there's NBK again with the Deagle. He could do some damage here. He has the element of surprise. Get right though. Does he? There we go. Spotted. And there's a kill from NBK. No Kevlar. That's a nice shot from him. Draken's got 6 HP. Rez, he'll be the initial engager. And now, this is a winnable round. He's got a minute on the clock. He can rotate all the way through B if he wants to.
He even picked himself up an HE. What a nice life. See what he can do with it. He's going to be making so much noise. Yeah, just decided to start running. I guess he felt as though his major issue of getting through those 3 choke points was just sort of impossible.
He had time though.
he did have time to look around. I think maybe he figured they wouldn't be close enough to give him a kill, and he could get a lot farther considering where the bomb was. Basically, I think he gave him time to set up in optimal after plant spots, but Force is a lot closer than he anticipated. Yeah, I think James, maybe if they did buy head armor, it would only be an extra 350. They would still have some money left over.
Yeah, I think that's too much of a halfway point that they were trying to play, where it just kind of really makes it up. I mean, especially on Cobblestone. I mean, you really have to, like, if you get that first kill in the drop zone, then maybe that changes things, but again, with no helmets, that's not an easy task. How is Draken in this position? I don't even know. It is the first buy round for both sides, finally, and the AWPs are all over the place, but so is Shox. And as we saw, I think yesterday, that doesn't bode well for his opponent. If he's allowed to roam free with an AK, then anything can happen. And now Draken's in a really weird spot where he's got lots of close quarters engagements, but with the AWP, things might get weird. Speaking of which, the bomb has been lost. Now Draken's scope has not been heard because there's a rotation through T-spawn. What is going on there?
I honestly don't know what is happening in this round. Everyone's all over the place. I really don't know what's going on. But the bomb is in the open. NiP is setting up around it. G2 are trying to find angles onto it. You can see Apex trying to use the palace there. But he's actually been discovered, the tower. It's going to get flushed out with the flames.
Molotoved out of the palace. That should have like an achievement, like a console game.
And then now Apex is, rather sorry, Shox is trying to find a way through A long. Is not really. That's probably like one of the worst places the bomb can be dropped. It's just like you're just so in the open.
Outside A, it's like there's like a million angles that people can be in. So yeah, that seems like a awful place for it to get dropped. Now, to be fair to the bomb, he was just trying to cross over towards B. But Draken was top drop with an op, which is such a everybody was in such a strange spot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so nuts. Because at the same time, Shox is pushing B plateau as well. It's just crazy. Crazy.
There's so much misinformation in that moment that you can't really, as a team, it's really hard to be optimal, right? It's really hard to say this is the decision we need to make right now.
Yeah. And that's where you need individual skill to bail you out a little bit in those moments of uncertainty. But NiP off to a great start. And it's funny because yesterday, G2, they struggled. They didn't have a great day. They played Fnatic on Cobble and Inferno. They did manage to scrape the win on Cobblestone, but they lost the Inferno, and it was really close. And Fnatic were playing with a stand-in. G2 need to find some of that strength they had 2 days ago against Mouse Sports, where they absolutely murdered it, even though they did end up losing against Oscar. GT now in the 3 versus 4, which is a fine position to be in with 50 seconds left.
I was wondering if NBK was going to run, but he's smarter than that. Walking away. There is a CT close in the underpass. 40 seconds. 3 Ts. They have a good amount of grenades, but there's still a smoke down on the plateau, so Rez can keep an eye on the drop. He knows someone's in there. He'll try to delay. Apex, will he drop the smoke? Will it spread? Not this time. I presume this is going behind a boulder. 19 seconds. And that's a spray down from Rez. A very nice second shot there, and the bomb is lost. Apex has got a 2K, but he won't win the round, so doesn't matter ultimately.
That was a sick spray though. You gotta respect that.
He's keeping the money honest on the CT side, actually.
That was nuts.
So there is that.
I don't think those shots are really, like those sprays are really rare, where you see like a super long range spray transfer into an immediate headshot. See, that's awesome.
Yeah, we saw, I think it was Azza. I don't know if it was here at ECS. Azza did that on the long B kind of similarly, but yeah, very rare. Rare sight. What's the money like for G2 right now? 5 down, shock spot up, 1 AK. People are doing this way, way more often now. Seems like something people did in like halfway to 2014, where they'd get 1 AK, buy all the way down to 0 and everyone else saved. And that's kind of being brought back.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, me too. Because, yeah, sometimes a 2K can just win the round, right?
Yeah, the right timing and the distraction. Oh, Apex, he's done so much. Get right on 2 points of health. In comes NBK with a deagle. That's an easy shot for him. And now it's Forrest who has to hold things down, but he's got a great position with the AWP. And Body and Kenny are going to be hard-pressed to find a way to take him out. He's repositioned as well. Up on the tree. Forrest, has he spotted it? Looks like Exist will. Exist will spot out Kenny S as well. And that's going to be the round for NiP. A good effort, though, from G2. They do get 3 kills out of it. And I think with the max loss bonus, that's honestly quite worth it.
You imagine if Shock stayed alive, or if he got the second kill, he would have also been alive. He had an AK on site, dropped 2 guns, allowed his teammates to get out. Completely different round. And they come very close because of the CZ2K as well. So, all things considered, not a bad round, and they buy. The only thing that Shock seemed to have sacrificed into this round is grenades. That's okay.
Yeah, definitely. And you always get the option too for him to have maybe a slightly lesser gun to maximize utility, like a UMP or even a CZ in some instances. We've seen some teams recently actually trying to save a bit of money in a position where you could get the full AK full nades, so get a Mac 10 and only a couple nades because they have a specific round in mind and a specific purpose behind that player, which is pretty awesome. It's like an optimal way to set something up. Much like when JW used to buy the sawn off, get it to drop, his plan being then to get a kill and then pick up another gun. And that goes a long way. Smoke kills are always awesome, and it also just shows you how awkward and horrible it can be to play this position as a CT.
Yeah.
It's honestly a very hard position. Oh my goodness. Get right, what was he up to there?
It looked like he fell off his skateboard.
Yeah, he's just sort of, like he threw an awkward pop flash in there and for himself and then sort of just dived into Kenny S's AWP.
Seemed like he bailed on the trick, but he was trying to hit a B-hop across or something.
I felt like he was trying to shoulder peek with a jump or something. Or maybe it failed B-hop, yeah. But whatever it was, it has not worked out very well for NiP. Forest committing to this hold, moving through the smoke. All 3 CTs on the site, and they've made a, well, it's not hard to make this good a read because there wasn't much presence towards the plateau. 2 versus 5 now. Draken needs to be fast on the repeat, and he is, but there are too many G2 players, and they are everywhere. That's a real shame for NiP, because NiP pretty much had possession of the plateau the entire time. G2, you could argue they haven't done a good job in the first 2/3 of many rounds in having presence or control over the plateau. So NiP have been afforded better positioning than you otherwise might towards the A site, but just got wrecked.
I'd say G2 were kind of lucky to win that round. All things considered, that first kill through the smoke, it was a good spam, but kind of fortunate. But even after 6 rounds in a row, because they did so much damage on those ecos, the force-ups, NiP have to save immediately. So I don't think G2 worry too much about how they won the round. They got a whole round of buys left over, as NiP couldn't even force up armor to try to do damage.
So NiP in an interesting spot now. They really need to sort of convert here to keep that momentum going, continue that strong CT side. A team that's not really had the best of times recently. We've seen a lot of sort of heart-wrenching losses, I think, from NiP, and I think we definitely expect a lot from this lineup. And BK will test the water there towards the A site, and he's not going to have a good time here. He will be denied the choke point. But Kenny S has taken position, and that's worked out beautifully, actually. That's actually very cool to show NBK there, and then for NBK to push the CT back and then just plant Kenny S there. Sort of like a flashbang kind of play when you take someone off the angle, so you can get the good position on it. Speaking of which, Forest has a great position here towards the back of Plateau. Always good to see when Forest picks up an AWP, because you know he's confident to be using it.
Oh, his crosshair was on, but the left click, there was no time for it. Kenny S repositioning. Oh, Draken will be there just in time. Lots of AWPing on Cobblestone so far. 45 seconds for Apex to find a 1 versus 2. He does not have control of the bomb. But what he does have is an AK-47. Get right playing around the smoke. That's not going to work out for him. Draken has the angle, but if Apex goes for the wide peak, not this time. Not this time. But it's another really expensive round for NiP. They only survive with 1 player, and G2 have the money to buy.
That was an interesting round. Forest wins the round if he gets his kill like right away. Apex dies. Forest also, I mean, has a huge part in winning the round just in general because of those 2 kills on long B plat. And yeah, we were talking about the other day how Forest isn't going to op unless he's really feeling good about it. So it's exciting to see him pick it up.
I just watched a video Forest made for one of NiP's sponsors about movement.
Oh, is that new?
Showing some jumps. It's not. I mean, it's fairly basic stuff. So
But is it a new video?
It is a new video, yes.
Okay, cool.
Relatively
Check
new
it out.
anyway.
Is it on the NiP channel?
I will then send you a link later, Dan.
Cool.
CC me.
All the nerds. We need to make
Yeah, if Forest does something, I want to know about it.
nerds.
I want
we
to
need
see
a
it, man.
Nerds at faceit.com that sends to Dan. Forwards to Launders as well. 1 minute mark, and G2 have they've got presence this time towards that plateau position, and these smoke plays not really working out for Get Right today. There goes Rez as well. Surely this is the go. This is a green light for G2.
Draken is alive, and he has had a good game so far with Yorp. I mean, a couple days ago, it was a different story. He's missing a lot, but today seems good so far. The first shot will whiff. He's in a very, very tough position to be playing sort of in an isolated way, but his teammates will be actually taking the major engagements here as he's sort of just zoned out by the smoke. Eventually, he's going to go down as well in that chicken coop. G2 with a very forceful entrance to that B bomb side, just using that individual skill to pry open the defense.
Yeah, another solid run from G2. NiP kind of give them a couple of kills again, and that's how they win. But like we talked about, Get Right getting called out on the smoke plays. It's not working out. So you could say that it was kind of random spam from NBK, but he had a good idea of what Get Right was trying to do with the smoke.
4-round difference as we wait for Shocks to reconnect. The tweet of bird. That's weird. I wonder if someone went out to record birds, or if they had some captured birds and recorded them in a studio environment.
See, you know that motivational speech Shocks does, where it's like, we're like 5 fingers
On one hand,
one
yeah.
hand. So which one is he? Is he the thumb? Is he the index finger? I think we need to work out
Why?
which.
Because he's the shortest? Is that why?
Well, I don't know. I think like the thumb is like the most important, right?
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, that's the most. Yeah.
Well, surely it depends on what you do.
Opposable thumbs, man. They're pretty OP. They're pretty good. So he must be the opposable thumb. He must be the thumb.
That is true. He is also the most versatile.
Yeah. So he's the thumb.
He's doing the most roles.
Kenny S should be the middle finger.
Yeah, he is totally the middle finger of the
He's the middle
team.
finger, man.
The magic stick.
Yeah. Okay, we'll come back to this. I feel like there is an answer.
I like this, yes.
Yes, this is good.
I want to know who's the pinky. That's what I
yeah,
want.
exactly, yeah. All right, so what is this? I get a bit of a stack here towards A-Long from NiP. You don't often see that, which is... it's going to be interesting to see whether or not G2 run into it. I doubt they will. I don't see a world where 1AK walks into that. So far, so good for G2.
Yeah, they can. They have a good opportunity to catch up to the 7 rounds of NiP. I mean, let's. I don't think we've mentioned it's been a good half for NiP so far, but it's not likely to stay that way for very long, considering their monetary situation.
That's a very good start, though. That sort of delays things ever so slightly. And I do wonder how this would be really good if Rez doesn't peek now, because I wonder if NiP... Okay, this is good. G2 aren't getting scared that because they lost someone on the B site, oh god, there could be a stack. They're just following through with their plan, get the rest of the grenades in there, and just get on the site. Because imagine, I bet there will be some teams that may panic rotate there, which would be the worst.
Some teams out there, yes.
Which would be the worst thing ever.
This is a very interesting game because normally you would see such a strong start result in like a really great half overall, but G2 have stolen back the economy completely, and they've done it with only 1 round. They've done so much eco damage. We're really seeing the value of doing economic damage on save rounds. This is where it's most important, because on the 1 round that G2 won, it didn't seem like they won in a sustainable way, but because they didn't have to go through 2 buys in a row, there's a much better chance for G2 to get back on their feet right away.
And they're definitely on their feet at the moment. They're running, they're sprinting, doing the 100-meter dash. NiP with another round where they'll likely need to be saving their monies. I'm very curious how much of a save we'll see here from NiP, because again with NiP sometimes you may see like the super optimal save, and this does seem really light. This investment is almost nothing. So indeed, they're trying to play very optimally on the save.
I like it, man. I think when teams keep buying up when they only have rifles just to keep a lead or whatever, they're ignoring what got them there in the first place. And with NiP, we saw the double ops be really important. Having Forrest and Draken, if we look at the rounds they did win, the rifle rounds, they both got 2 kills apiece on some of those rounds.
Yeah, looking forward for that return. That will definitely come thanks to this economic approach. So just some pressure into drop here. MBK can take that. Or perhaps he's going to back away. Fair enough. So all 5 through plateau. Molotov stairs, Molotov at the corner, Molotov broken wall. Looking quite good hit for G2 so far. This is a good approach. Use all the grenades.
Get Right's leaving. He can contain the choke point, but I wonder what NiP will choose to do. No SMGs in this round. Although they don't know that yet. But they'll go for this close quarters. None of their pistols one-shot anymore. Not a single one of them. There's twice. And Exist will do exactly that. Oh, nice steal, and Body will go too far. Turns into a bait. 2 rifles, and they can throw it upstairs as well, and then leg it. That's some nice catches for NiP, but Draken's AK will be lost. So NiP should boost a player to rescue that, surely. And they're doing exactly that.
So the P250 got a boost to its first bullet accuracy, right?
I'm not sure what
I think it's longer range, it's more accurate. I can't remember.
So the CZ benefited from that as well, because it's the same bullet type.
I think it just reduced the damage on the first shot, so you can't one-shot headshot with it, which is great. And then boosted everything else. That was a really cool approach to the eco. That's something that every team should be doing when they don't have anything to work with, is grouping up and looking to hold exits. They made it look very difficult for G2 to find a way out.
2 AKs on their bar round when their economy is less than spectacular. Rest surely not. That's a
Whoa.
perfect peek from him, but it seems he's going to pick again. What did he do? What?
Wow. I mean, Rez even got hit as well.
I don't even understand. I don't even understand. I mean, that was quite deliberate from NiP, but that is way above my head.
Well, Forrest had a better angle than Kenny because he was so much farther away from the corner that they were peeking, so he'd be able to see Kenny first.
That must be what is going on there. Brazen peek from NiP, but it might not be enough in this situation. 3 versus 4. Surely they don't even commit to this. Get Right's holding an angle, looking for opportunity, but this is not a round that NiP can win. Oh, that's just bad to worse, isn't it? Just simply standing in the wrong place. When nothing's going your way. Shot through the door to hit 3 HP after your teammate gets shot through a smoke. With an economy wrecked because their teammates got shot through other smokes.
To be fair though, you do, like, there's no reason for Get Right to be just spraying through the door. Like he can just take, like he and Forrest can just take a good position where they will survive the next round. So I don't, that's like one of those spots where you do wonder about leaks because players sometimes get this, I think there's a lapse of focus or concentration where you think, I'm probably fine here. Whereas if they really thought about it, they could realize that there is a pretty serious chance that it could go wrong, and they could just play a very safe option. And
yeah, it's a pros and cons situation. You're just weighing, like, if there's any chance that I can die, is it worth it? What's the value of getting a kill versus dying here? And almost always dying is way worse than getting a kill.
Yeah.
Is important.
So imagine the buy here, if they had Get Right's rifle, M4 or AK, he had an AK, and Forrest with the AWP, it'd be fantastic.
I think in part though it's a deterrent to try and slow the hunts. Like G2 know if they take guns away, the situation is worse for NiP. So if he harasses the door like that, then it may slow down the hunt. So I think he is doing that to help him. I mean, how many times are you going to get shot through a door like that at an angle like that down to 3 HP? Not many times.
Yeah, that's a good
Well, you
point.
can kind of see where the bullets are coming from though. You can kind of get a good idea as to where he's spamming from.
Yeah, but still, I mean, most of the time I don't think he's getting shot down to 3 HP.
Yeah, if we look at it from his perspective, he didn't think he was going to die. So
Yeah.
he isn't playing too aggressively, but into this rifle round. There's only 3 UMPs left.
That is much more than he could ask for. Apex doing some damage to Shocks to help that kill. Exist, can he get himself 2 kills? Kenny has taken down. Looking for the second one. Draken though will do it. 2 versus 1, and NiP will take that round. Looking surprising after that entry kill. But again, there's far more money on G2. But it's the last round, so it doesn't matter so much.
Nasty pickup from Rez with the two UMP kills after losing the only rifle that they had to work with. So that assisted the rotates greatly coming in the 3v3. And I thought it was very much a turning point of the round. G2 winning that last round and forcing NiP to force. But now NiP, after winning this round, have a good chance to make it a 9-6 half, which is solid at the end of the day, even though they were up 6-1. Oh my god.
My god.
It's jumping into the angle. Amazing.
Damn, son.
I don't think it would have killed him if it wasn't a headshot. So maybe he just dies there if he misses.
Well, he jumped as well, right? It says...
Oh!
Yes, that's awesome. That's a great shot.
And that's the round.
But yeah, he must have some landing inaccuracy as well, right? I mean, he just jumps straight into the angle, immediately takes a shot.
You know what I found out? Well, there's this correlation between people who are very talented or very confident and how lucky they think they are. So you see them taking more risks and also believing that their risk will pay off. And it's not to say that he has less landing accuracy than a normal player, but he's more willing to do that without hesitation and assume that he is going to get the shot off than somebody else who might be less confident.
Well then, 8-7 in favor of the Ninjas, and they move to the T side. So maybe we'll see some of their fabled executes. 2 high explosive grenades on the T team, and they will send it for any CT looking to abuse the range of that USP. But on this occasion, there won't be anyone there. Shocks with a HE of his own being deployed somewhere towards the boost. A nice late one towards the top of the drop area. Top of the drop. Body's got himself into a spot of bother, but he manages to escape. Spotting 4 players, there will be a full rotation from these CTs.
MBK can't get anything there. That's great misfortune for him and his teammates as well. Are going to come up short here against NiP. It's Apex in a 1v4. Not the best spot to find yourself in, especially if you can't get that first bullet. Oh no! The knives come out, and that's a lot of extra money in the bank for Get Right. Again, it's really sick if you can get knife kills in this game. $1,500, and as opposed to maybe the 300 you'd be otherwise looking at as a reward. The Damascus Steel.
He's using a Safari mesh, okay.
Yeah, the difference for him is the full grenade set that he gets to work with. I imagine they'll try to weaponize Draken to scout for information. I'm not sure where he is though.
I remember Get Right was so excited. He really wanted a Fire Serpent. And I remember at the time I was opening loads of Bravo cases, and he was like, "If you get one, sell it to me." I was like, "Hell no, I want that for myself." And there was once where I came so close, and we shared the pain together. So he's gone Safari mesh. He's past it. I'm not past it though.
One time I lent a knife to Stewie, and a couple weeks later, after just lending it to him, he asked if I wanted to go in with him on a bet to gamble the knife. And I said, "No, that's my knife. Why would I do that?" And then he said, "Scared money don't make money."
Wow, who the hell is Stewie? NBK still with this deagle. That gun is a problem. They've got the high ground now. We'll see if the CTs can escape to get the gun. They can't. That leaves Shocks alone in a 1 versus 3 with the Desert Eagle. Oh boy. Well, 1 versus 2. Not able to collect a weapon just yet, but maybe he doesn't need another one. Jumping down, he'll be hurt by Exist, but trying to get a 1 versus 1. Aim punch will keep his crosshair high, and again, it's another round where NiP survive, but they've taken some damage. Less impact when they're on a T side, but worth noting anyway.
more SMG is going to be bought up. It's kind of the nice thing about, even if you lose the AKs, knowing that you got past the thick of it, and the CTs aren't going to be able to afford armor and stuff like that this round, so you can just buy up more SMGs. Mac 10s are so great, because the kill reward, 1 kill almost makes up for the entire cost of the Mac 10.
I will be quite curious to see what G2 do. I would imagine G2 are probably just going to all die. But I think a great move in this position, as you highlighted with the Mac 10s out there, you want to just not give kills away. You don't even want to die. You want to make the kill cost them so much. So you want to create like some interesting setups. But you don't want to go too far in. And it's a win here if G2 don't, if everybody survives. Even though they're not saving anything, they're denying that kill reward, which would go a long way. Again, like 1 kill with a Mac 10, that's like 2 smoke grenades. You know, it's almost a Kevlar. You know, it's significant. It all adds up.
It's a Bardov Molotov and a flashbang. Oh, nice! In case somebody's in the corner. She's one of the safe spots. I respect that.
That's awesome. I really liked. I'm so happy G2 did that. That was great. It's rare that you see people actually play it sort of optimally in that way.
Dan is happy. Hashtag happy Dan.
7-11. They keep the Mac 10s.
Nice.
Yeah, there's only 1 helmet on this CT side, but how do they use the close quarters? Oh, they're going to be charging in. No, they will respect the Molotov. The incendiary grenade. That will allow Apex to back off. NiP didn't want to put themselves in a suicidal position, but look how close they are. Apex continues to move back. And I do wonder, there are 3 CTs now in the A site, and it might be partly because Shox has he has vision of Plateau. There's no presence towards B from NiP, and they're not going to leave anyone towards A whatsoever, no lurker. They're all going to rotate together back towards the B bomb site. I wonder if Body will look for information towards A.
I think this makes a lot of sense. I think you really need everyone to stay together because you have the 2 Mac 10s and the Galil. So everybody sort of has to work together here because you can't really do anything by yourself in this kind of a round. You have to play it together. You got to get the utility in there together. And that's exactly what they're going to do. So this should work out really well. I mean, still a few players misplaced here for the defense on the rotation. And the Mac 10s are indeed doing the damage.
Yeah, they can't afford to lose at this point. G2. Body and Kenny are still trying to make it winnable, but how far will Kenny invest? He is surrounded by smoke grenades, and Body doesn't really have an opening at the moment, moving towards the plateau, but do they want to lose everything in this round? They're not going through the choke points, and see Body starting to back off.
Yeah, Kenny's definitely wants to get the heck out of there. And it's funny to see the Mac 10s getting the kills on this round, a much more important round. So they make up for it. They couldn't.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they couldn't kill any saving players last round, so now what will happen? There's 4-round loss for G2. They've got a tiny bit of money left over. They have an op and a rifle. Imagine they're going to try to buy.
I still find it hilarious that you loaned Stewie a knife and he tried to persuade you to gamble it. That's hysterical to me.
And split the winnings.
That is really funny. And split the winnings.
It's my knife.
What a hustler. Stewie, what a scumbag. That is really funny. Oh my god.
Which knife was it?
Something, maybe an M9 Fade or something.
Can I gamble your knife and keep half the proceeds?
he knew how to win, apparently. He had a guaranteed win, yeah.
Oh yeah? Percentage? Question mark? Oh dear.
Oh man.
That's really funny, man.
He must have been having a conversation with Mo or something.
Stewie is a closet hustler.
Damn. Well, yeah, I love that round from NiP. Again, I think people need to respect more the fact that you can really make a lot of buys work with the T side if you just understand the most optimal ways to use those weapons. You can make a really good round from it. So I have to understand sort of the parameters as to how you're supposed to play that round, which is why I really love that NiP recognized that in the previous round. They're like, okay, you know, our initial map control take towards A did not work out. And they're like, well, we just have to keep these same principles of how we're supposed to play this buy together. Here is another option for us that's good with this buy. And it worked out. And speaking of which, G2 actually changing the approach here with Body going very aggressive on B plateau. And he hears, I think, the stepping.
Grenade.
And all the grenades?
Yeah, he primed the grenade.
No, you can't hear people prime grenades.
I hate, he heard him on the barrel.
You can only,
wooden barrel,
you can only hear the grenade leaving their hands.
Are you sure?
Yes.
But you can hear Molotovs.
Not, well, maybe Molotovs.
But not incendiary grenades.
I don't know. I don't.
Because you hear the flame.
NiP
I'm
smokes.
not sure.
NiP with the NiP smokes. Nice. Ooh, and they're going to go down drop. Very cool round from NiP, the way they set everything up. A whisk shot from Kenny S is going to definitely make things a bit harder here for G2 to get back into the bomb site. Good catch onto Draken, though. You should know not to test Kenny S. Just one player left here and Exist. Can't even get the damage in there, but I think he heard the footsteps on the barrels, because I heard the wooden footsteps.
Yeah, yeah.
When
He was jumping on it, so for sure he heard that at least.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure about the incendiary Molotov thing. I have to check that. I did the testing with the flashes and grenades and stuff like that.
Okay. I think with the Molotov, you can hear it being primed. But yeah, I need to double check on it all myself as well.
We'll all double check.
Let's all do it. I'll do it with my Mac and my Magic Mouse. It's going to be great. 4 rounds. G2 needs some consecutive success. NiP with a lot of presence towards the plateau area. They've got Res deep by the wall corner. And G2 lying away. G2 still with good grenades. They've got a good amount of grenades at this point. Minute 20 on the clock. They have, I think, 4. I think enemy cages for a smoke, and they've got 3 remaining. So they're not in a terrible spot in that regard, but this is going to be an important duel, which will be won by Forest. He's still got half his health, and there aren't many more eyes towards the A site. Shox is close, and Body's coming in for support, but there's no fast play from NiP, just akin to, akin to what we saw from G2. When they got 2 picks, they would noise, start charging in behind it.
I like the re-aggression from Shox. They're going to assume if no one came to trade just now that it'd be unlikely to see one come later. But, oh, yeah, opportunity for a kill, but his spot's blown up now.
That may give the game away to the remainder of G2, but can they rotate fast enough? Rez is lurking and Kenny S gets taken down, at least NBK around Connector, and Draken will blast him through the smoke. Taste of their own medicine, and the medicine tastes disgusting.
Buckleys. Do you guys have Buckleys in the UK?
No.
It's the...
Is that cough medicine?
Yeah, it's the really bitter cough medicine. There are commercials about how bad it tastes. It tastes awful, but it works. Was the tagline.
We have bad tasting cough medicine, but I don't recall the brand.
Just cough medicine. Just all cough medicine.
It was really interesting because everything is made to taste good and work and stuff like that. But that really appealed to me, the thought that, for me, it has to taste bad, otherwise I don't think it's...
Yeah,
It's like we were talking about with games. Like, if the game looks too good, I'm kind of weary about how good it actually is.
Yeah, I see, yeah.
I must have slacked on something else.
Yeah.
Also big push here, up into the A site. Forest gets himself an entry there, and also the additional kills should come fairly easily. It's just careful of this opponents to be dealt with. Body will, or rather Kenny will make things a little bit annoying, but 3 people will survive for NiP, so a clean round all things considered, and they will be now 2 away from the victory here in map 1, which is a fantastic position for NiP to find themselves in, especially after, again, just all the heart-wrenching losses that we've seen them take lately.
The interesting thing is, you wonder who these matches have more value to at the moment, because there are at least 5 teams who are competing for the top 4 spots at the moment, which G2 are very much one of them. And they're not at the very top of the table, so I would say that there's more value in trying to place in the top 4 for them. Who knows if NiP can win everything, if they can still make it there themselves, but I think for their own psyche, these wins are important to them because of the way they've lost some of these matches. And they've done so many things right in some of them, but things have sometimes gone wrong. They have done some things wrong as well, but the point is, I think they may need this just as validation for the changes they've tried to make in the team.
I like that play out of body. Stealing away the M4 that was dropped. Definitely not without risk there. I was thinking to myself, there's definitely a chance some bullets can some spam can come through that smoke, man, and he could die. And that would be a 5 versus 3, but he managed to get the gun. We'll see how important that is. Get Right picks up NBK there in the drop zone. So NiP are in such a sick position. They got just under a minute left in a 5v3. That is like the dream scenario for a T side.
There's a nice late smoke on the plateau from G2, and NiP put one in themselves as well, which would give them a route into the plateau, and G2 not quite sure what's going on in that respect, so they still have 2 people towards B, but it's Kenny towards A, missing a shot that surely he should have landed. He is in a 1 versus 5 situation at the moment. There's a flank coming in from G2, but that's not going to get there anywhere near in enough time, so it seems they don't know what's going on, and now it's too late.
Kenny actually hit him, but it was like through the floor or something, so he only did like 80, 90 damage. Eventually finished the kill off, but might have slowed them down a little bit, but with 30 seconds left, they had to press onto the site.
NiP looking good, looking good. I think what is how many rounds have GT lost in a row here? So only two. So this will be the 3rd one. So that's going to be $2,400 on what you see now. So their buy is going to suck in this next round, and that's going to be match point here as well for NiP. So NiP is looking like this is a fairly simple and straightforward game for them so far, and they'll be hoping to make it a simple and straightforward victory. Let's see if that's going to be the case.
Pretty impressive stuff.
Nice. Nice if you are Swedish or a fan of the Swedish team. Apex with the auto shotty, business as usual over there, but the rest of his team, it is not going to be usual. UMP's Kenny, take this, FAMAS. The word has never been more true. No forward play from Shox as we saw him attempt in the previous round, getting taken down very early.
Get Right.
Don't laugh at me.
Jump.
Okay.
No, I'm laughing at Get Right. He's just jumping and spraying. You can see him in the distance for the X-ray on the last camera angle we had. Just in the distance, Get Right just doing this. But he was spraying as well. I missed that. I missed that. Interesting stuff from Get Right.
Shox is playing he always plays B plat very aggressively. Sometimes it doesn't always pay off. I feel like I've been seeing him die a lot more than I'm used to.
NiP have been very wary here in this round against potential aggressive plays. Nice double Molotov though. You can see that will isolate NBK in the drop area. We'll have to see if they anticipate that there could still be a player remaining in this position. It may not be the case, but I'd imagine we would see a flash anyway as they drop down, but it's going to be a smoke. There are the flashbangs. NBK manages to look away though. Great job done by NBK. Picks up a very fast kill onto Get Right, but still Rez is doing massive damage. The main push has worked.
2 players remaining. Kenny, this is be a really important frag. The pre-fire, but he only sees a knee of Draken and gets shot straight in the face, leaving Apex with an auto shotgun. I have to say though, it was a nice adjustment from G2 to have the Molotov in response towards NiP's execute. And again, that's something that can cause NiP problems down the line, where they do the same thing all the time. So you see some adjustment there from G2, which in future